So the concept that we are going to discuss today is file handling. So first let us see what is a file. Okay, a file is like a permanent storage in memory. Like we are going to store that permanently in computer memory. For example, we can consider the audio files, video files, or the normal text files. All those things we are going to consider as files. But the type is different. So video files, audio files, we are going to store permanently on memory, either on phone storage or on computer we can store. So that is nothing but a file. Okay, which a file is like any file which we are going to store in memory permanently, and we can have any kind of data inside that. It's not it is not mandatory to have that kind of data. It can have any kind of data inside that. Okay, this is just normal file, any file we can, text file we can consider. So there will py, so python file also we can consider anything which we are going to store permanently on computer memory. Okay, clear?
Yes.
Okay. So here, for example, we need to work with files. You are like everybody aware of the comma separated files, like CSV files. So different kinds of data. So now we got a requirement where we need to handle some text file. Okay, I want to I want to read the data, or I want to write some content to the text file, or I want to open some content to the text file, or I want to delete that file. So I'm gonna have such a requirements. I have some file, or if I want to create a file, or I want to write some data to the existing file, or I want to delete to perform all those operations with Python, we can use this file handling concept. Okay. Clear, like any kind of data. For example, all the students information we stored in CSV file. CSV is not file nothing but comma separated file, where we are going to have student admission number, student first name, student last name, when they joined, all those information we are going to have. But on top of that, if anybody want to perform some operation, then they can read the data, or they can use that file with Python, and they can perform whatever operations they can do. Okay.
Yeah, got it.
So instead of doing manually, we can use this coding, something like that. Okay. So for example, how to say, you already saw I'm not sure everybody aware of this library management system or not. So if you see that library management system online, they are going to give one the user going to have some login details, and they can log in. They can choose whatever books they want. So this is all UI part, but in backend, the user somebody going to write the code, and they are going to handle the UI part is visible to the user, but in backend it's going they write the some code which going to handle all those operations. Okay, so in the same kind, what we are going to do, just we are going to use the file, existing file, or if we want to create the file, we can create. Just if the some user comes, and if they want to perform some operation, they can use that file and they can do. Like already I stored all the student details in one file, and if I want to add new student information to that file, I can open that file, I can read that file, and I can, if I want to add the data, I can add, or if I want to fetch some user detail, I can fetch that user detail. So all such a things we can do. Okay, clear?
Manasa, so
Yes.
you're trying to say people can access and they can have an edit access.
Yeah, if you able to open that file, so in my system I have this py file, I can open it, any py file I can open it, and if I want to do any modifications I can do, and if I want to read the data I can do, if I want to read specific data I can read, or if I want to delete the content I can delete, if I want to overwrite the content I can. If you have, you
Okay.
should have proper access to that file. So in my system, to any file I can do the changes. But if some company related file, only few, there will be some privileges. If the user has that privilege, then they can edit that file. Not everybody. That's in your computer you can do any changes to the file that you created.
Okay, multiple user can have
Yeah,
access.
normally where this situation comes, when you are working in real-time project, there will be one file called certification certificates.txt file will be there. So it is very mandatory where it's going to do some authentication or authorization. It's going to do some like to perform some actions. Okay, so such files you can't edit. Why? Because you shouldn't have proper privilege to edit the file. Only admins or few other persons can edit the file, and if that particular certificate got expired, then they can add that. So there it will come like this concept.
Understood.
Yeah. Any doubts?
No. No.
So there are different modes. Okay, so before performing any action on file, first we should open the file in read mode. Okay, before performing any operation, or if you want, even if you want to write the data, or if you want to add some extra content to that file, first you should open the file in read mode. Okay, so different modes are there, so we have different file modes. Okay, so which is mandatory when you are going to work with a file? So you should specify the mode. Whenever you are going to work with a file, you should specify the mode, so that what it will tell in which mode, like in which mode you are going to open the file, it will indicate. We have read mode. Okay, R indicates read mode, so that you can only read the data, you can't perform any other operation, you can only read the data. Okay, and if you open the file in W mode, you can only write the data. Okay, you can't do anything, you can just write data to the file. So whenever you open a file in read mode, okay, if some content already there in that file, and if you write some data using this W mode, it will overwrite the existing data. Means it will delete the existing data and it will add the new data. The old data won't be there, it will delete the old data, and instead of old data, the new data will be there whenever you open your file in write mode. Okay,
Okay.
and whenever you open your file in append mode, it won't delete the existing. This is also write operation. It won't delete the old data. To the old data you can add the new data. Means it won't delete the old data. Write mode will delete the old data. Append mode won't delete the old data, it will add new data to the old data. Like both will be there, new data will be there, old data will be there. But in write mode, old data will get deleted and the new data will be there. That is the difference between write and append. Okay,
Okay.
and if you open a file in W plus mode, so you can read the data, you can write the data. And if you open a file in A plus, you can read the data, you can append the data as well. Okay, these are the modes we have. And R plus also, it is also read only mode. Okay, one more method, one more mode is there, that is R plus. This is for read only. We can read the data using R plus also. Okay, these are the different modes that we should use, and by default it will be in read mode. Okay, the default mode is read mode. If you won't specify any mode while opening the file, so it will be in read mode. Okay, so before performing any operation, we should open a file, and while opening the file, along with the file name, we should give any mode. And if you won't give any mode, by default it will be there in read mode. Okay,
Okay.
so just we can see how we can do. So for this we are going to use the method called open. Okay, to open a file, to open a file, and it take two parameters. Okay, it will take two parameters. So remember, why open is a method. Okay, open is a method. Okay, and it will take two parameters. One is file name and another one is the mode. If you won't give any mode, it will be in read mode. Okay, let's see how we can open a file and how we can do some action on that. Okay, so if you give here, this is the syntax. Okay, so file indicates as file object. Okay, so whatever file you are opening here, so this mf indicate as an object to the file that you open. Okay, so instead of using that file name everywhere, we are going to use this object to perform the operations. Okay, it is file object, and it will indicate the file whichever you opened using this open method. Okay,
Okay.
and here you should give the whole path. Let me take some text file. Second, uh, one second, guys. Let me open some file here. I don't have any text file. Okay, let me create one text file here. Let me copy the path here. And the file name is new.txt, right? This is how you can read a file. So you should give the full path. Okay, and then you should specify the mode. Okay, clear, guys?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
And if you have some content in that file, and if you want to read it, we can do. As of now, I don't have any content inside that, right? So that what I will do, I will open the file first in write mode, and I will add some content to the file, then we can read the data. Okay, I'm opening, and you should specify that in single quotes as well, the mode. Now let me write some content. So we should use the object file object, and for writing some data to the function, we are going to use write method. Okay, and so once after doing all the operation that you want to do on file, you should close it. For closing a file, you are going to use this close method. Okay, just save it, you can run it. So it write some content to the data. Again, let us open the file in read mode, and let us read the data. Okay, you can see, right? So it's reading the data. See, now if you open the file, First I created as empty. Now this one, I think it created here. One second.
I think it is creating the new file, Mansa.
Yes, it's creating the new file as it's not taking this
You should give,
extension.
I think you should give A plus. A plus means appending, right?
Yeah, so like this W mode, it seems it's going to create the file. Along with that writing the data, it's creating
Yeah.
the creating the new file, and to that new file it's creating the data. But I already created that file, right? If you see the
Hmm.
file that I created here, this is the file I created. But whenever I open the file in write mode, it should check the file, and if the file doesn't exist, then only it should create the file, right? So the file already exists, right? In the same path. That's what I'm checking. Okay. Let me let me try to do again. See, now it's in read mode, so I should give this in W mode. Sorry. Now it created, but the normal behavior is whenever we open a file in write mode, so first it will check whether the particular file exists or not. So if the particular file doesn't exist, then it will create a new file, then it will add the content. So if existing file is there, it should open it and it should overwrite the content inside that. That is a normal write mode, how it's going to work. But here, even I created the file, I, like it didn't override it, it created new file, which is not expected, right, Jagapati?
Yes, Mansa. That's what you meant. Okay, we can them to open the data we have, so he is only right.
So what I'm
Right.
thinking, okay, one second, I can tell you the difference. So the mistake that I did is, I gave here new.txt,
Hmm.
new.txt, and it's created, whenever it's come to this Python code, it won't give the .txt in the name. So whatever the name I have before this dot, that name it will consider as a file name. Okay, I created
Okay.
new.txt, but Python created new. Both are different. So whatever name you have before
Mhm.
this dot, so before this extension, that name it will check in that
Okay.
directory. If the name exists, it will override. If name doesn't exist, then it own and then it will create new file, and then it will add the data. Clear? So if you see, this is the
Got it.
name.
So now we can run again so that we'll right how will it go.
Sorry.
That's what Mansa. Now we can run again once again with some different adding so
Okay,
that it
let
will
me let me add
append,
let me add
it will
let
append
me
the
add
data,
some
right?
content. Yeah, let me
Add
open
some
the file in
sequence, yeah,
let me open the
yeah.
file in append mode. Okay, so that append, what it's going to do, it won't override the existing data. So along with the existing data, it will add the new data whatever we are going to provide. Okay, and same, the method is write only, but we should check the mode. So you opened in append mode, right? To write content to the file, we are going to use write method only, but it that depends based on the mode, whether to override or whether to append the data. Okay. So here why I am giving slash n to place the data in new line. So hi will come in one line, Python is in will come in one line, how are you will come in one line, this content will come in next line, line by line it will come. For doing that I am giving slash n. Okay, slash n indicate new line. If you give slash t, it will take tab. It will give you the tab between each line. Okay, just save it and run it. Now if you see, see, this file got overwrite, and I'm appending this from here. From hi I'm appending, right? So to the existing hi Python is easy, it's appending the data. From here itself it's going to append. From the here, hi Python is easy, how are you, and this one. So to the existing data, it's appending the new data. Why? Because of we opened the file in append mode. Okay, clear?
Mm, yeah. So,
And normally, just I will give you one example how it will work in UI part. So I have one UI, okay. I have one UI, but in backend, I'm storing the just I will take the student example itself. I'm storing the information in CSV file in backend. But in UI part, I'm going to give some data like student name enter here, student ID enter here. So whatever data you are doing, you are giving here in backend, it's going to store in file only. So this is where this file handling come in picture. In UI, you can't see whatever like where it's storing, but whatever data you given in backend, if I want to store in a file, this is how we can handle the file in backend. Okay, from UI we can we can take the data, and then in backend we can process it and we can store it in a file. At that time, we are going to open the file in append mode so that without overriding the existing data, we can add the new data. Okay. Clear, while where like in which scenarios we can use files, and it is like permanent storage. It's not temporary one, it's permanent storage. Like we say, okay, let me show you the file in read mode. Okay,
Almost I'm going to drop now. My doctor will ask you about
Jagupati, your
the
voice is
PMO.
not clear, Jagupati.
I'm going off now. If anything I need to, I will.
Do you want to drop from the class?
Yeah, that's what I'm telling.
Okay, yeah, you can, Jagupati. Thank you. Okay, now see here. So now we open the file in read mode. Okay, so we open the file in read mode, and what we are doing, we are looping over the file object. So this is F is the file object, because we are using this file object to refer this file. Okay, to refer this file. So whenever you use this F, it will refer to the file that you opened in open method. are that used in open method. Okay, so F will refer to that. And whenever you are doing this for I in F, it will refer to each line. Okay, it will refer to each line, and whenever you are giving that I, it will print each line for you. It will iterate on that file, and it will fetch each line, and it will print it here. Okay, this is how read mode going to work, and append mode we saw, write mode also we saw. Clear?
Yeah.
And this r plus, we can use this r plus for read and write also. It won't overwrite the data. R plus for read and write, A plus for read and append, this one W plus for read and write, but it will overwrite the data. W plus or W both going to overwrite the data. Okay, A won't overwrite the data, A plus R plus also won't overwrite the data. Okay, you can try the remaining methods. Normally, if you open a file in W mode alone, you can write the data. You can't perform any read operations. But if you open a file in W plus mode, you can write the data and you can read the data as well. And with this append mode, you can add new data to the existing data and you can read the data as well. With R plus mode, same. You can read the data, you can write the data, but it won't overwrite the data. Okay, these are the methods. Now I showed you R, W, A, these three modes. You try with W plus mode, A plus mode, R plus mode. Okay. Just try some examples. Create 2 to 3 files from your end and perform all the operations. Okay. And tomorrow or today itself, I will take one more session. There you should explain me how it's working.
Okay.